We have come to the middle to get to the end. We are in the center of the United States, Omaha, Nebraska, for the third and final test of the 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Open. Welcome to the NOBULL warm-up show, everybody. I'm Sean Woodley with Andy Sakamoto. Caleb Banfield is out there on the competition floor. It is the final test of the Open. I know there are a lot of nerves out there because usually this is when things get dialed up a notch.
Yeah, the final test notoriously is a little extra spicy, and I'm sure all of these athletes are going to bring the heat. But we've done our burpees, we've done our thrusters, so how bad can it really be, Sean?
Let's not find out the answer to that question. I think you jinxed it by asking it. As always, we're going to have a busy day on tap for you here at CrossFit Omaha as we get set for the live announcement of 23.3 presented by RP Strength. We will have a local athlete throwdown, 2 athletes from here at CrossFit Omaha, and then Danielle Brandon taking on Mal O'Brien, and then after that, stick around for the cool down show presented by Rosti. CrossFit fans, here is your chance to win the ultimate giveaway courtesy of RP Strength. Scan the QR code here and you can enter to win an all expense paid trip to Cookeville, Tennessee to train with Rich Froning for you and a friend. Enter now because winners will be announced on Tuesday night. Well, we are in the house that the Tovars built, CrossFit Omaha, and Stacy Tovar and Dustin Tovar are with the third member of our broadcast team, Caleb Banfield.
Thank you, Sean, and I am here with the party people of CrossFit Omaha, and word on the street is that these guys have been tailgating since 11 a.m. They know how to party! Now, if you've been doing CrossFit for a little while, you might recognize this familiar face, and it's none other than 8 times CrossFit Games athlete Stacy Tovar, who is now the owner of this wonderful box, along with her husband, Dustin. And Dustin, how has the Open been so far in week 1 and 2 for your community?
Well, first of all, hi, Kayla. Welcome to Omaha. We're super honored to have you and the CrossFit crew, Danielle, Mallory, and all of our special guests here at CrossFit Omaha. We're super excited to see what Boz has in store for us for 23.3. The Open has been a ton of fun. We are having a great time so far. 23.1, we had several, well, I should say we've got a few members that have been around long enough to retest the workout. They bested their score from 2014, so that was awesome. 23.2, we had a bunch of members PR their thrusters. So aside from having to keep a big secret this whole time, we're definitely having a good time in the Open this year. And here we are, week 3. We get to close things out with a bang at Big O Fitness. So
thanks for having us, Dustin. And Stacey, we mentioned before you're an 8 times CrossFit Games athlete. When you retired, I'm sure you got lots of opportunities to be involved in lots of different things, but you chose to be a box owner and a coach. Why?
Yeah, I did have a lot of opportunities thrown my way, but at the end of the day, I just followed my heart and my passion, and it led me to this place, this amazing place, these people, this amazing community. And every single day, I got to walk into my job, and I get to spread love, give a high five, throw a fist pump, give a hug, and ultimately just make their lives better and individually healthier and happier. So at the end of the day, it was just worth it. You know, it was just a smooth transition, and it was exactly where I needed to be.
And we're the lucky ones, right?
There you go.
Well, guys, thank you so much for having us today, and back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Kayla, and thank you to the CrossFit Omaha community for welcoming us here. And very rarely does an athlete have as big an impact on her community as she does on the sport. Well, obviously, Stacy Tovar is the exception to that rule, and she is dedicating as much energy to coaching as she did to becoming an elite athlete.
There's so many moving parts when you're a coach. You wear so many different hats. You really genuinely have to care about the person. You have to care about the people. You have to understand their goals and know that it's part of your job to help them accomplish that. Yet there's so many moving parts from, I don't know, putting toilet paper in the stall to answering the front desk when somebody walks through the door. For me, teaching somebody the movement, teaching somebody to accomplish something that they've always wanted to accomplish just kind of happened naturally. And so I think if I wasn't going to be a coach, I may have been a teacher just because I love people. I love to learn myself. I love to teach others how to grow and obviously reach what they want to accomplish.
I think caring, you know, you can say it, but you also through your actions, people feel it. If you truly care, I think it will come through naturally, and I think that the member or the athlete won't have a doubt that you care if you do it the right way.
Well, just like any sort of teaching job or coaching job, it can seem redundant a little bit. Like some days I feel like I get stuck running through the motions of things. But it's not until you really receive some sort of feedback from a member saying, I've really helped them with something. I literally just had a member tell me about how I helped them through a hard time in their lives. So those are the days where it's like, okay, I'm important, my job is important, I am making a difference.
What matters to me is that if somebody wants to lose 5 inches or fit into a pair of jeans that they haven't worn for 8 years, or I have somebody that just wants to, I don't know, do a thruster at 55 pounds one day, like that is so important to me, and I want to make that magic happen for them. That inspires me, that literally makes my heart want to explode, and that is so much more important to me than me ever getting back to the CrossFit Games or making the top 10% in the Open or whatever. That's just the way I've always been. I can't really explain it otherwise. It's just a part of who I am. It's why I'm in the business I am today, and it's why I have this place here, so.
Community here is very lucky to have Stacy Tovar as a coach, and we were very lucky to see her compete. She had a very impressive resume as a CrossFit Games athlete, showed up at the Games 8 different times, finished 11th in 2015, and then ultimately retired from competition in 2017. Before we look ahead to what we have on tap today, let's take a look back at the 23.2, and the community showed up big with those burpee pull-ups and shuttle runs, and a lot of people PRing their 1-rep max thruster. And the cool thing about the Open this year is we have 113,000 new people throwing down. And I think we had a lot of people, as I mentioned, PR that 1-rep max thruster, because not a lift that I think a lot of people test very often. And we saw some pretty impressive scores go up in Part B of 23.2. And we will get to that in just a second. But first, we also want to remind you about our friends at CrossFit Turnagain up in Anchorage, Alaska. As we told you last week, they had a very unfortunate occurrence at 23.1 at Friday Night Lights. They had their roof collapse. Unfortunately, a member of the community lost her life. You can support both CrossFit Turnagain and the family of the community member who passed away. If you can scan the QR codes on your screen, please help, because one thing that CrossFit community does very well is rally around those in need. So scan the QR codes and please give what you can to help our friends up in Anchorage, Alaska. So 23.2A and B are in the books as we turn our attention to 23.3. Your winners for 23.2A, Charles Curran on the men's side, 191 total reps, and then a woman we will see compete here in just a moment, Mal O'Brien at 188 reps. Those are impressive scores, but I think what was even more impressive, some of the weights we saw go overhead in Part B of that test.
Well, and let's face it, the 1-rep max thruster was the most fun part of last week's test, and I'm sure Barrett Coons would agree. She put up a thruster of 240 pounds. Not only did she clean it, get it to her shoulders and stand it up, but she got it overhead. She tried a heavier lift rate after that, wasn't able to make the clean, but obviously quite happy with her 240-pound thruster, and we're impressed as well. Rubio Graciano on the men's side, he put up a thruster of 375 pounds. Not only did he get that bar overhead, he got his leg up in the air to celebrate it. Super impressive lift by Rubio Graciano.
That is so offensive, it should be criminal. 375, he even did like 405 earlier just to warm up, but got to settle for 375. So congratulations to both of them. We're going to talk more about the individuals here in a second, but let's focus on the masters. The 35 to 39-year-olds coming into the final week. On the women's side, a familiar name there in number 5.
Well, and actually both of these leaderboards are just littered with past individual games athletes. You can see right here Alessandra Pacelli in 9th place. We have China Cho in 6th place, and look at that, CrossFit Omaha's very own Stacy Tovar sitting in 5th place. Maybe she's not completely retired,
Maybe. So
Sean.
You're saying there's a chance.
Exactly. And then on the men's side of things, you see in 9th place, Scott Panchik right above him, Easy Muhammad. And then up there in 5th place, good old Biceps Bailey, Dan Bailey. There's other names on that leaderboard if we had gone down a couple rings, like Rich Froning Jr. and Austin Maliolo. So a lot of games athletes we could see return to the games.
Those younger masters divisions are going to be a lot of fun to watch. Let's go to the individuals now. On the men's side, after 2 weeks. Jeffrey Adler looking to win the Open for the second time in his career. He has 103 total points. He's 115 clear of Tolo Moraquinho, and Colton Mertens sitting in third with 310 points.
Yeah, and actually, like you mentioned, no surprise to see Jeffrey Adler on top right now. He won the Open in 2021. Right now, he has all top 60th worldwide finishes so far. You know, he just missed being on the podium at the games last year, but he is definitely poised to make a run for the podium again this year. Right behind him is Tolo Moraquinho, and Tola has already committed to the team proven, so we know we won't see him as an individual, but he is having his best Open performance by far. And then just behind him is Colton Mertens. Again, not surprising to see Colton here. He finished 4th worldwide last year. Colton picked up 180 reps in 23.2A, and I think we will undoubtedly see him back at the CrossFit Games this year.
Over on the women's side, the kids are all right. Mal O'Brien, your overall leader, by 23 points over Paige Powers, who's coming off that big win at Wadapalooza. Emma Lawson, who was the leader at one point at the CrossFit Games last year, she sits in 3rd. And then Alex Gazan, she's just 21. She's in 4th.
Yeah, it's the year of the youngins, something we would know nothing about, Sean. But Mal right now is poised to win her 2nd Open in a row. Can't wait to see what she brings us tonight. Obviously, just on a run and on a tear. And then right behind her is Paige Powers. And like you said, she's backing up that Wadapalooza win, proving to us that it was no fluke that she won Wadapalooza, and she should be in the conversation amongst all of these top ladies. And then just underneath Paige is Emma Lawson, who actually won the Open for the 16 to 17-year-old division last year. She decided to go individual instead, and it proved to be a very good decision. She had an extremely successful first year as an individual.
And we will get to see your overall leader in the Open in action tonight. Here's your tale of the tape presented by Wild Health. Mal O'Brien and Danielle Brandon both coming inside the top 5 in the worldwide rankings, both in the top 5 at the CrossFit Games. Both have made 4 appearances at the Games, and both have podium aspirations coming into 2023.
Yeah, and you know, right now, Danielle Brandon has a ton of momentum coming into this year. 2022 was by far her best year of competition to date. She won the MAC and then followed that up with a 4th place finish at the CrossFit Games, which was her best finish yet. She seems to have really found a great fit with Matt Torres and the whole crew at Brute Strength in Naples, Florida, and she undoubtedly is a podium contender. She seems to kind of be peaking at her 27 years of age. And then on the other side of our matchup tonight, we have Mal O'Brien, who in just 2 years has checked almost every box an elite CrossFit athlete could hope for. She's been named Rookie of the Year. She's won the Open. She's won quarterfinals. She's won a semifinal event. She stood on the podium, and today she does her first live Open announcement. So the question on all of our minds is, will she check the champion box? And if so, will it be this year? I am so excited to see what another year of training with Matt Fraser as this lady's coach will bring for her.
As you mentioned, Matt Fraser is the coach of Mal O'Brien. Matt could not be here, but I know you spoke with Matt O'Keefe, the man on the right side of your screen, about the relationship between Fraser and Mal O'Brien. What did you learn about what makes that so special?
Well, one of the things that Matt said is, you know, obviously Mal's doing great in the Open so far, but it's not about the Open. She is just tunnel focused on what she's trying to accomplish at the Games this year. He said that while it was never Matt's intention to coach a Games athlete, he is having so much fun coaching Mal. Matt has been through everything that Mal is going through. He's been through the doubt, the fear, the wins, the criticism, the expectations. And Matt is, what he's really enjoying is helping Mal focus on what she can control. He said that Matt is dedicated to helping Mal be everything that she wants to be on and off the floor. This is not about Matt anymore. This is all about Mal. And while they are a coach and athlete, more than anything, they're a family.
And like Matt Fraser, CrossFit coaches pretty much all started as athletes. And Katie Hayes is a level 4 CrossFit coach. She's a former box owner and now a coach at CrossFit Beaver Menace. She started as an athlete. CrossFit changed her life. Now she's a coach helping other people experience that same kind of magic.
Okay, everyone needs a PVC pipe. You need your own PVC. We're gonna make a giant circle on this side of the room, on the red wall side of the room. Please and thank you. I took my level 1 course in December of 2010. So at that point, I'd been doing CrossFit for just over a year.
It was like kind of a no-brainer. You know, she's she and I are so similar in our presence and attitude, and we're like, you'd be an amazing coach, and it'd be a great job for you to have, and you could coach for us.
We're starting in 3, 2, 1, go! I knew that the level 4 was out there. It was something I wanted for certain because that was the pinnacle of being a CrossFit coach. I got an email that said, we have an opportunity for some trainers in the area to take the level 4 exam, and I, without even thinking about what that exactly means, I emailed back and was like, I want to do it. Yes, 100%. Waiting for the results was like, it felt like an eternity, but I got an email with my results saying that I had passed. I was a little bit shocked, to be honest with you, because this credential is, like I said, it's the tip of the spear. And I thought, how did I do that? How did I, am I here? Did I do this? I was overweight, no confidence, I didn't like myself at all. And when I started CrossFit, I had hopes that maybe it would change something, but I don't think I had any idea of the magnitude or how profound the changes would be.
I think it's beauty from ashes, right? Like that girl in college looking in the mirror saying, this is as good as it's gonna get.
I lost over 100 pounds from the time I started CrossFit to that 1.5 year mark, and that alone is life-altering. I mean, it does so much for me, for my confidence, my mental health, my physical health. I'm just super grateful. I'm grateful for those moments that I had that got me to where I am today.
Now, this is one of a series of stories that you can see on The Magic of CrossFit, where you will learn about how CrossFit has changed the lives of people around the world. Let's go down to the competition floor. Kayla Banfield is with Katie Hayes.
Thank you, Sean. And now I might be biased, but I genuinely, hand on heart, believe that CrossFit is the best sport in the world. Am I right, guys? Like, it genuinely is. It's changing so many lives, and there's so many things that make CrossFit so special. One of those is our educators, our seminar staff, and our coaches. Katie, you obviously have an incredible story, and now you have an incredible career. What's something that you do regularly to continue to grow in this role?
I think for me, it's all about continuing to be open to feedback as a coach, whether that's feedback from others on site at a seminar, feedback from my coaches in my gym. But there should never be this moment where you're like, I've arrived, I've figured it all out, because not every day is a home run. And if you allow yourself to be vulnerable and put yourself in situations where you're nervous, it's out of your element, it's a little bit uncomfortable, that's really where the growth happens, I think. And I purposefully try to do that so that I can continue to grow and be better for my athletes. I think I have to remind myself of that every day.
And you're doing that today, right?
Very uncomfortable right now, yes.
You're doing a fabulous job. Now, if there's anyone at home that's on the fence, maybe thinking about doing an L1, what advice would you give them?
Oh gosh, do it. If you're thinking about it, don't wait until you feel like you're 100% ready or that you should wait for the perfect time. That might not ever happen. There might not ever be the perfect time. And go into it knowing it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be uncomfortable. You will start coaching and you will show up for your first class at 6 a.m. and there'll be 20 people that show up and you will be panicked. And it might not go according to plan, and that's okay, but what will happen, this thing happens where somebody will come up to you after class, and they'll say, that was really fun, that was a really great workout, thanks coach. And like, you feel that in your heart, And that's so rewarding. The education and the development, that continues if you continue to do kind of what we talked about. Ask for feedback, seek out others who are better than you, who've been in the game a little bit longer. But it's the most rewarding job that you can have. And so just do it. Take the leap of faith and do it.
I agree. As a career path, what more could you want for yourself?
This is it right here. Yeah.
Sean, how can people at home get involved?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Kayla, because like Katie, you can set people up for a lifetime of fitness by becoming a CrossFit coach. Use the QR code below for more info on CrossFit certificate courses. We are at the end of the Open, but really we're at just the beginning of the season, because in only a couple of weeks, quarterfinals get started. The top 10% from the Open will move on to this stage. Then after that, things really do get serious. In-person competition for the semifinals for the individuals and the teams. That starts April 28th and runs through June 4th. And then the top athletes from semis advance to the CrossFit Games, Madison, Wisconsin, August 1st through the 6th, where we will crown the fittest man, woman, and team on Earth. As far as the semifinals are concerned, they're going to be a lot of fun. They get going on May 18th, the first two, North America East and Africa. And then a busy weekend after that, North America West and Pasadena, South America and Oceania. And then to close things out, the Europe semifinal and then the Asia semifinal in South Korea. And you have an opportunity to be there live in person. Tickets are on sale now for the North American dates in Pasadena and in Orlando. Scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can head to games.crossfit.com. Those competitions are going to be a blast. You're going to want to be there live. And NOBULL is giving away 2 $500 gift cards. Scan the QR code and sign up to be entered to win a $500 gift card to kit yourself out for 2023. That is it for the warm-up show. We are ready here in Omaha. When we come back, the live announcement of 23.3.
Thorstadter, 2 times fittest woman in the world, and this will be my 12th time competing at the CrossFit Games. Life is busy, complex, and amazing, but life is also full of choices and decisions we need to make. RP makes it easy for me to fuel for my performance at the gym and for at-home life with my family. I spend less time worrying about what to eat and when, and more time playing with my little girl.
What makes a good coach? Well, we have the definition of effective coaching, but at the heart of great coaching, the first thing is you have to care. And what we try to teach everyone coming into the level 1 is, regardless of the ability level of who walks into your gym, that person deserves a cue. Whether that be someone who is coming to their first CrossFit class or a games athlete like Chandler Smith. Our ability as coaches and our effectiveness is directly impacted by our ability to have someone leaving our class better and have learned something new than when they walked in the door.
CrossFit welcomes and unites people of all ages, abilities, and goals around a methodology that is accessible and effective for all. We train, persevere, and progress together. We build strong local communities that drive unparalleled progress and a deep sense of belonging. People who do CrossFit come in all shapes and sizes, and you can start at any age. It doesn't matter who you are or what you can do. If you keep showing up and putting in the work, you're a CrossFit athlete, and you'll find countless others just like you who are ready to lift you up and celebrate your successes, great and small. For the millions out there who have experienced the transformative power of our methodology and the unwavering support of our community, CrossFit is a match struck in the dark. And And for the millions more who have yet to experience the magic of CrossFit, we invite you to join us.
The 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Open is presented by RP Strength, the official nutrition coaching platform of the CrossFit Games. NOBULL, the official footwear and apparel brand of CrossFit. Trifecta, the official meal delivery partner of CrossFit. And Wild Health, the official precision medicine partner of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. America's Heartland, a region known for hard work, grit, and toughness. A perfect stage to showcase two of the best in the sport of fitness. Mal O'Brien has embraced hard work, and it's paying off. The teenage phenom is widely considered the heir to the women's throne. She hopes to take it in 2023. Danielle Brandon is the personification of grit and toughness, and she doesn't plan on letting anyone get in her way this season. Two of the best in the world are set to go head-to-head in Nebraska, and it could be a preview of things to come. Mal O'Brien takes on Danielle Brandon. The live announcement of 23.3 is next.
We are ready for our third and final test. On tonight's show, we have two matchups, one with our local athletes and one with some of the top athletes of the sport. So, on that note, let's introduce our locals. Our first athlete to take on 23.3 is CrossFit Omaha Super Coach, Maddie Ice Baby Watt. Second athlete is another CrossFit Omaha Super Coach, Korie the Hammer Kammerer. Now, Matt, earlier you told me that you literally normally do workouts by yourself, and tonight you're going to be doing a workout with hundreds of thousands of people. How does that experience compare?
You know, I wouldn't rather do it anywhere else but here in front of all you guys. You guys are full of energy. If I have to do it in front of all anyone at all, it's going to be you guys. I appreciate it so much.
And Korie, are there any movements that we're hoping to either see tonight or not see tonight?
Well, I can't speak for everyone, but I just hope to see movements that I can beat Matt at.
And what's that? Don't give away your secrets.
Box step overs.
Ah, okay. I'm personally hoping to see the pistols make a return to the Open. But anyway, enough hoping and wishing. Why don't we just open that envelope, hey? So for the announcement of 23.3, I give you 8 times CrossFit Games athlete, Stacey Tovar. Stacey, will you do the honors?
23.3 is, in 6 minutes, complete 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 15 snatches, then 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 12 snatches. If you finish under the 6-minute cap, the time cap extends to 9 minutes. To complete 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, 9 snatches. If you finish under the 9-minute cap, the time cap extends to 12 minutes to complete a final round of 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, and 6 snatches. Good luck.
Stacey. All right, I'm going to hand the mic over to Competition Director Adrian Bosman. Adrian, you've got some wise words for us all.
Thanks, Kayla. So, this is the shortest and most technically demanding test of the 23 Open. For most of us, it's going to be a 6-minute sprint. For some of us, we're going to make it into that third round and start challenging ourselves with the more demanding movements and loads. For a very few of us, we're going to get to that fourth and final round where only the very best will be able to finish this thing. But that's not the most important part. The most important part is to recognize that you guys are part of a culture that embraces challenge and celebrates effort over absolute placement on the leaderboard. So this week, when you're attacking this, what I want you to think about is that you're celebrating your coaches, you're celebrating your training partners, and you're celebrating yourselves with the effort that you put into this test. Good luck, guys.
Thank you, Boz. Now, just like the last 2 weeks, you can't pass go and collect $200 unless you are aware of all of the standards. So if you want to play the game that is the CrossFit Open, your workout's got to look like this.
CrossFit Games Open Test 23.3 begins with athletes attempting to complete the following within a 6-minute time cap. 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, 15 snatches, then 5 wall walks, 50 double unders, and 12 snatches. If the first 2 rounds of wall walks, double unders, and snatches are completed before the 6-minute time cap, an additional 3 minutes is added to the time cap and the athlete immediately moves to complete 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, and 9 snatches. If the strict handstand push-ups, double unders, and snatches are completed before the 9-minute time cap, an additional 3 minutes is added to the cap, and the athlete moves to complete another round of 20 strict handstand push-ups, 50 double unders, and 6 snatches. The weight of the snatch increases with each round. If you complete all of the reps under the time cap, your score will be the total time taken to complete the test. If you do not complete the test before the time cap, then your score will be the total number of repetitions completed. For the official movement standards, as well as specific information for each division, download the official 23.3 scorecard from games.crossfit.com.
So you've just seen our RX version, but as always, we've got plenty of variations depending on your category and division. So as an example, if you're a scaled athlete, your wall walk isn't going to be all the way into the wall. And for some of our older masters athletes, you guys will be doing kipping handstand push-ups. Obviously, there's lots to take in, so make sure you go to games.crossfit.com and download the official scorecard for all the details before you take on 23.3. And now we're going to send it up to Sean, Annie, and a very special guest, and they're going to get us ready for our first heat of 23.3.
How bad could it be? How bad could it be, Sean? That's what you said.
I'll tell you,
happy?
It's only 6 minutes of bad,
That's a
Sean.
good point.
Suck it up.
That's a good point. I can
Oh,
absolutely
come
do that.
on. You'll get further than that.
No, I will not. Let's talk about this from an overall standpoint. As affiliate owners who are going to run your members, through this, how do you make sure you set everything up to make sure that you have, as successful a 23.3 as possible? We can start with you, Annie.
I actually really appreciate this as an affiliate owner because there's not a lot of equipment that's needed. We need some tape lines, you need a barbell, and you need a jump rope. So affiliate standpoint-wise, I think we're going to be able to get a lot of people through this. I'd love to say that I'm going to plan a 12-minute time cap for most of my heats, but I probably won't need it. I hate to say that.
Well, that's kind of nice, and you only know you need about 24 minutes heat to heat. You have plenty of time to warm everybody up and get everybody settled down, the nerves calm down to tackle this workout.
I'm sure there's some nerves out on the floor right now.
I think I hear them.
2 coaches from CrossFit Omaha throwing down before we get to Mal O'Brien and Danielle Brandon. Good coaches, they're all over the place, but great coaches are hard to find. What makes these 2 great?
Oh my gosh, Korie's been with me for 9 years now. True story, funny story. She actually started in the basement of my home, worked on a Walmart laptop computer and a fold-out table and chair. And Matt's been with me for 6 years. He is just the all-around package, an unbelievable coach, and both of them it just radiates off of them. True passion for and the love for CrossFit and helping people.
I got to talk to Matt a little bit last night. I know he's a little nervous about that. Really looking forward to seeing him throw down and looking forward to seeing this community represent. Well, CrossFit fans, here is your chance to win the ultimate giveaway courtesy of RP Strength. Scan the QR code here, and you can enter to win an all-expense-paid trip to Cookeville, Tennessee to train with Rich Froning for you and a friend. So do it now because winners will be announced on Tuesday night. So, Annie, now that you've had some time to process this, what is your recipe for success presented by Trifecta?
There's one that comes to mind, Sean, and that is no missed reps. This workout is fast. It's really going to be easy to either move too fast and miss a rep or to move too fast for your own good and fatigue, specifically those shoulders, and miss a snatch or miss a wall walk. And those reps are going to be so costly when you think about the time domain that we're working in.
I think transitions are key too. You know, you want to get right to that jump rope, try not to step into a single under first. These professional athletes for sure should just be jumping right into that double under, but staying calm, cool, and collected in that first rep.
It begs the old slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Here we go.
All right, let's get this thing going. The Hammer versus Matty Ice down to the competition floor. Adrian Bosman to kick it off.
10 seconds. 3, 2, 1, go!
We are underway. Round number 1 here, starting with those 5 wall walks, then it's 50 double unders, then 15 snatches at the first weight. That's 65 pounds for the women, 95 pounds for the men.
Korie's doing a great job of just letting her body slam to the ground on those wall walks. Why control yourself on the way down if you don't have to, right?
That's absolutely right. And breathing. We really emphasize breathing at CrossFit Omaha. You know, it's don't hold your breath. That only sends your blood shooting elsewhere or just pooling in a certain area. But when you let that oxygen flow, you just kind of relax and get all the muscles the energy that they need.
Right.
You've been a part of something like this. You've been a part of an open announcement. What advice, if any, did you give to these two to get ready for this?
I told them, guys, first of all, Matt walked in with this huge backpack on his back. I was like, Matthew, what are you doing? Like, take that backpack off and any chance you get. I mean, these athletes have been on the go. You know, we had dinner last night. We had rehearsals this morning. I said, any chance you get, take a seat and take a load off those legs. And so they were like, what does that mean? Are we squatting? Are we pistoling? I was like, no, just give your body a break.
Right.
Give your body a break.
Both Korie Kammerer and Matt Watt are on to the snatches. 15 reps here, then it is back for another 5 wall walks, another 50 double unders, and then 12 snatches at weight number 2. That's 95 for the women and 135 for the men. They got to get to 70 reps before they are done with this first round.
Quick little break for both of them, but it looked like Matt was back on that bar a little bit quicker than Korie. But look, we're not even 2 minutes in and they're almost done with this first round. But this is where I think the general population of CrossFit goes, well, then that means I'm going to make it through the first 6 minutes.
Right. I do love their strategic breaks, though. It looks like they're both intentionally taking a quick breather, giving those shoulders a little bit of a rest. So I like their strategy so far.
The Hammer moves back to the wall, and here comes Matty Ice.
Korie has actually been programming it's like a handstand push-up wall walk progression clinic for our members at the box. And so she's been taking really great pride in making sure that those who struggle upside down can do some accessory work, not necessarily get upside down all the time, but do some skills and drills that will strengthen that upper body so they can ultimately get their first wall walk, kipping handstand push-up, or strict handstand push-up. So it's exciting to see her kind of do her thing out there because this is something she's struggled with, but has obviously really got herself advanced. So it's great.
Well, and I love that the wall walk is actually the first movement because for the people that have been able to do the open the first 2 weeks RX, obviously this workout does have a lot of skillful movements in it, but starting with that wall walk means a lot of our members are going to be able to stay RX for this final workout.
I agree. I love that too. And if you're an affiliate owner like myself, hopefully you have been introducing wall walks pretty frequently in your programming over the last year since we've saw them, come out in the last year or two. So these guys are prepared. The initial 10 should be no problem for them. We've actually worked our way up to 45. I think that's a standard number across the board for every CrossFitter. We've even done more than that in a workout. So these guys have got it. They're good.
You can see a little fatigue setting in for Korie there.
About 2.5 minutes to go in the 6-minute window here.
Yeah, they just need to relax those shoulders. That's also something we talk about. I learned a lot of this, you know, as I was an athlete myself, but just, hey, balls of the toes, relax as much as you can. Kind of use that as recovery. I kind of hate to say that, but that's what a double under should almost feel like.
Yeah, no, I think for me too, like that is my rest spot.
And if you're wondering, you can get help with your barbell in the workout. Someone else can load it. You can have multiple barbells waiting for you. That is all legal. And if you are lucky enough or good enough to get into the handstand push-ups, the standard on that is that line that you see on the right side of the screen closest to the wall. Your hands just have to be touching that.
Some part of your hand has to be touching that line.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I will say I think Korie's probably just going to kind of get right on that barbell, because I do know that she's going to want to bank a little time to give herself a little bit more time for those 20 strict handstand push-ups. Whereas I know Matt, I think that's kind of more his wheelhouse. So he's going to just kind of take his time through this barbell, knowing that he can make up a little ground on those strict handstand push-ups.
137 is the number they need to hit here to extend their time cap to 9 minutes. Watt with 5 reps remaining. Korie Kammerer with 4. Now 1 minute before we hit the 6-minute time cap, but it looks like both will make it into the strict handstand push-ups in round 3.
Which is where they need to be. That's just it. 1 rep at a time here, and take your time on the wall.
Right.
I'm the one that should be talking from experience. Hey, those fast singles kind of might be the way to go.
I was just going to bring that up. I was like, I know an athlete who regionals a few years back was kick up, do 1, kick down, kick up, do 1.
You think I'm crazy? I'm not.
No,
it works.
I recommend, I call it the Stacy toe bar, and I say, like, when in doubt, do the Stacy toe bar.
Well, when you think about it, if you knock out 2 or 3 reps, but then you're struggling for that 4th or you fail, you're resting the amount of time that you may have gotten a single 2 or 3 single quick reps in, you know, so.
And
there's something to be
when you have that slow lockout, the amount of energy and muscle fatigue that you accumulate there is it's not worth it.
Yes.
We are on to the 20 strict handstand push-ups. And again, the standard is just part of your hand has to be touching that red line. You can see that Matt Watt was adhering to that, and he is to 142 total reps here. You can also track the movements in the test here at the top of your screen of our scoring hat. So 9-minute time cap now, and we're into the 20 strict handstand push-ups, followed by 50 double unders, and then 9 snatches at the third weight, 125 for the women and 185 for the men.
Oh.
I will say I'm not really sure how often we measure that 10 inches away from the wall mark that they have put in place this year. So that might play a factor, huge factor into, you know, you might be good at handstand push-ups, but how far away from the wall are you?
Right. I think what's good, though, is really any part of your hand. So you could go fingertips or heels of your hand can be on that piece of tape. And it's specified that the piece of tape needs to be, I think, 30 inches wide. So there's a little bit of play there.
All right.
Read and know the standards.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So less than 2 minutes to go before we hit the 9-minute time cap here.
You can see that, you know, if you make it through the 6 minutes, this is where the workout starts. It is these 20 handstand push-ups.
Well, and that's I think the great thing about this test is that you have a place where everybody can play in those 6 minutes. And then it's like, okay, if you are really good, this is now where you get to separate yourself.
And then if you're really
good, you get to finish it.
Yeah.
I see Coach Matt turning around, taking a look at that clock. So he's got 5 reps left, and I think he can, if he can hang on here, he can maybe do it. Just got some no rep there.
And you just, the shoulder fatigue that these athletes must be feeling. 5 wall walks on their own, no big deal. You know, 50 double unders, no big deal. But the 15 snatches right back into those wall walks, those shoulders are blowing up.
Yes, absolutely, I would agree.
Matt only has 3 reps remaining. 157 is where he's trying to get before he can just start piling up double unders. And he has about 40 seconds in which to do that. Korie is gutting through those handstand push-ups. She has 10 remaining.
I told you that line was going to make a difference, and it looks like it is for Matty Ice there.
Yeah.
He didn't quite get his finger on that red line, and he's just got a few to go. There we go. Come on, buddy.
15 seconds now for Matt Watt.
Great little head through on all of his handstand push-ups.
Yes.
Final rep here.
Oh.
He's going to get through it. But both athletes will hit that 9-minute time cap.
Whew. Wow.
And their score will be the reps completed. And that was impressive. You got to be proud of that.
I'm so proud of that. That was great. Their movement looked great.
Again, I think a lot of people are going to underestimate what it takes to get out of that 6-minute time cap. So the fact that both of your coaches, both of those athletes made it out of that very first time cap is super impressive.
I would agree. I would agree. They should be really happy with that performance. I'm really proud of them. They looked great out there.
You think they'll redo it?
Oh, who knows? Probably, knowing these two. Korie's not going to be happy that Matt beat her, first of all. So there's that.
Yeah.
And now that they know that standard, that's something they can practice
Right.
on a second run. Here are your results for our coach throwdown here. Matt Watt with 157. Korie Kammerer with 149 reps. Let's take a look back at how it went down, and both athletes are starting off with a really good pace here, and they got through that 6 minutes with plenty of time to spare.
Yeah, Korie, again, was so fast on those wall walks. She just slammed her body to the ground with no regard for her toes or her legs. But again, if you don't have to control the descent on the wall walks, it's much easier.
That's kind of how Korie plays. She plays a little dirty like that all the time. So that doesn't surprise me one bit either.
She was first to the rope and then actually had absolutely no trouble on those double unders.
And that transition, she just jumped right into it. I'm so proud of her.
She was smart. She knew how to leave her rope out, and then she got a good chunk of the first 15 snatches done. She didn't go unbroken, but she got a nice good chunk of those first 15 done. And then I think right around there, her and Matt met on the barbell. They were both able to make it out of that first 6-minute time cap, but here's where the workout really started for both these athletes, and that was on the wall and those handstand push-ups. And that standard of having your fingers on the red line.
I think that standard is going to be the game changer as well. Not only is it just the getting to the wall, it's the 10 inches away will really make a difference.
Yep, and then Matty, ice, baby, just making it through that last handstand push-up. Wasn't able to get any more double unders, but great effort from both of those coaches and athletes.
Yeah.
Let's go down to Kayla Banfield, who's with Korie Kammerer and Matt Watt.
Korie, Matt, incredible job. Guys, put your hands together for our guinea pigs. Guys, you did so well. And Korie, there's a few ways you can approach this workout, but you really can't avoid just kind of going hard from the beginning, right? How did you strategize this to make sure that you got through to that second time cap?
Well, I didn't really strategize. It's hard to pace it with all my friends around me, but you have to have a sense of urgency because of the caps. But if you don't have the strength for those presses, it's going to get you no matter what. So you might as well push it and see what you got, I guess. Yeah.
Love it. And Matt, I can see your brain ticking after on perhaps how you could have done that better, and any words of advice for people that might be thinking of taking on 23.3?
Yeah, it's
I do.
It's you know, at the start, like we always are, we're fresh, and I think you have to be calm because what is about to happen is a heavier bar and a more challenging gymnastics movement. So those handstand push-ups at the end, I've never felt that heavy on a strict handstand push-up, and I'm usually kind of good at those. So doing singles and all that was surprising. So prepare for some shoulder fatigue, and yeah, but you got to push the pace. So.
And before I let you go, Korie, you said you wanted to beat Matt, and you didn't. Does that mean you're gonna repeat the workout?
It means a redo on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. A little bit of healthy competition never hurt anyone. Guys, well done. You're over now. You can go relax, kick back, and enjoy the show. Back to you, Sean.
The Hammer versus Matty Ice 2 live on pay-per-view Sunday. Sign up now. This is the beginning of the end of the Open. The Open is almost behind us, but quarters and semis are coming up, and semifinal tickets for the North American semis are on sale now. You can scan the QR code on your screen. Well, matchup number 1 is done, but matchup number 2 is next. Mal O'Brien takes on Danielle Brandon when we return to CrossFit Omaha.
Castings. For simple shapes, a complete solid pattern may be used. The mold box is filled with special molding sand that is rammed home around the pattern. The molten metal, at precisely the right temperature, is poured into the mold. The assemblies are tumbled. Shaping is done with the aid of machinery, and the fine finish is evidence of the craftsmanship that has gone to their design and construction.
The charter for our coaches can be summed up into a single sentence. My competency is solely determined by my efficacy. This means what determines how good you are is how good you are for your clients. It's all about your ability to deliver them results. We ask a lot of our coaches. And we believe the act of coaching is deliberate, focused attention. Looking at one person at a time, caring deeply about their hopes and challenges, and helping them progress step by step so they can discover their true potential. The CrossFit coach is not a cheerleader and not a character who's there to entertain. Instead, our coaches display true character through knowing and serving someone else with the goal of helping them achieve their goals.
The 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Open is presented by RP Strength, the official nutrition coaching platform of the CrossFit Games. NOBULL, the official footwear and apparel brand of CrossFit. Rogue, the official equipment supplier of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. And Trifecta, the official meal delivery partner of CrossFit.
Welcome back to 23.3 presented by RP Strength. Our Heat 1 athletes have set the bar high for 23.3, but now it is time to bring out some of the sport's top athletes. Our first athlete bringing a whole lot of DBE into this room is four-time CrossFit Games athlete Danielle Brandon. In her open announcement debut, 2022 CrossFit Games silver medalist, Mal O'Brien. Now, Danielle, you found out the workout not too long ago. How do you prepare for something in such a short period of time?
I talked to my coach, and then honestly, when you stay ready, you don't got to get ready.
The unknown unknowable, right?
Yeah.
Now, Mal, you had a fantastic season last year. You've started the season strong this year. How are you feeling as we enter week 3 of the CrossFit Open?
I'm really excited. I feel really good. I'm happy to be here.
Well, we are super excited to have both you ladies here, and good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Back to you, Sean.
Kayla. Danielle Brandon is here representing the Brute crew. Matt Torres is her coach. He is the owner of CrossFit Naples. He's a level 3 CrossFit coach, and he is mic'd up.
Yeah, I want to pull up the workout again.
Yeah, let's see. The most reps at 12 was...
So we got 15, 12, 9, and 6 are snatches.
50, 50, and then 15 snatches, 15.
We gotta be smart about the strict handstand push-up.
Yeah.
Because I think that's gonna be a surprise.
Right. Right.
Happening is when we get to the second portion of the 20, 50, and 9, that's where things are really going to slow down. I don't have to win the first part.
Right.
And just know that the handstands, strict handstand push-ups are going to be rough. But here's the thing: is like, I think there's more risk if you go touch and goes than there is reward because of what we got.
It's just so long. That's a long time, and there's only 6-minute cap.
Yeah. But you guys, you'll be able to.
Big thanks to Matt Torres for helping us out with that. And Mal O'Brien gets her mobility protocols from GoWatt, and you can too. During the Open, you can download their app for free and get customized mobility protocols for the Open tests. Go check out how they'll get you ready for 23.3. One more look at the tail of the tape presented by Wild Health. Mal O'Brien taking on Danielle Brandon, both ranked inside the top 5 in the worldwide rankings, both inside the top 4 at the CrossFit Games, both with podium aspirations here, and can't wait to see how this thing plays out. Going to be a lot of fun to watch. One more time, your recipe for success presented by Trifecta.
Again, I really think it's going to come down to no missed reps, Sean. Obviously, this is a short time cap, and so any missed reps are going to be too costly as far as the time goes, and too much energy that you're going to waste.
For the final time of the 2023 Open, down to Adrian Bosman, the competition director, to get us started.
10 seconds. Three, 2, 1, go!
And here we go. Danielle Brandon and Mal O'Brien opening up with 5 wall walks, and you can see Danielle Brandon using both feet to hop up. That's something we haven't seen a lot.
No, she's super fast. And, you know, this event to me is very reminiscent of the speed skills medley that we saw at the CrossFit Games last year. And guess who won it? Danielle Brandon. But guess who got 4th place in that event? Mal O'Brien. So I like this matchup. It's very similar in that you have to be precise and accurate, but you have to be fast and you have to push the pace.
Not to switch subjects here, but how about facing each other when you're trying to do the double unders and don't trip, don't trip. I know, yeah, exactly.
And even just keeping your rhythm, you know, like when you hear somebody else's rope, that can set you off.
No doubt. No doubt.
They're both done with the initial 50 double unders at the same time, and now on to the 15 snatches at 65 pounds. This should just be a minor inconvenience on their way through this test.
But I think, and you heard Danielle's coach, Matt Torres, say it, it's a little bit of a trap to go touch and go on these first ones, mainly because you're gonna fatigue those shoulders. You know, she had a quick little break there, and I think that could have been a really good move from Danielle Brandon.
I also see Danielle Brandon kind of flashing her fingers and releasing that hook grip during those snatches. Mel kind of hung on the whole time. I mean, believe it or not, the blood's got to go somewhere. So squeezing that whole time could actually affect her shoulders, and Danielle releasing the fingers might actually send some relief her way. So we'll see how that all pans out.
Well, Mal O'Brien, I think, has now gotten hit with 2 no reps. The first in her first set of wall walks, and now she just got hit with another on this second set of 5, but both she and Brandon just making quick work.
And again, that's when, you know, you want to move fast, but you got to move clean because it can be costly. For these ladies, it's a matter of seconds. For the rest of us, it could be a matter of 10 to 20 seconds on a wall walk.
Absolutely. Mal Cowder here on the double unders that last round. We'll see what happens here.
They have 6 minutes to get through these first 2 rounds. That's not going to be a problem. But once they complete 137 reps, that time cap now extends to 9 minutes, and there's now 95 pounds on the barbell.
And what will be interesting, we saw both of your coaches move to singles on this barbell. What will these ladies do? Are they going to stick with that touch and go? 2 different approaches here.
Yeah, you kind of heard in the background, Coach Torres was telling DB, you know, singles might be the way to go. It looks like they're kind of sticking to that strategy, and Mel's over there in the back corner of her eye kind of, oh man, maybe I should go singles, maybe I should stick to my game plan. And that's the hardest part about being out there. It's like you kind of got to go with your gut feeling and what's feeling right in the movement, but also you have to keep that strategy in the back of your mind as well.
We just passed the halfway point of this first 6-minute window, just to give you a little perspective of what we're dealing with here.
And they're just about done. Mal's done. She could have almost had a 3-minute time cap on the first piece.
Well, now we move to the 20 strict handstand push-ups. Again, the standard is just part of your hand has to be touching that red line. You can't get help with the barbells, as you see some of our crew out there loading the barbell, or you can have multiple barbells waiting for you. That's all legal.
And Danielle just got a no rep there. Both so good on their hands. Curious to see where they take this and how they break things up once they start to feel that fatigue settle in there.
Yep. Well, both have a gymnastics background, so not surprising that they're good on those hands.
Mal O'Brien now with 4 reps remaining. She's got to get to 157, then she'll move back to the jump rope. She's starting to put some distance between herself and Danielle Brandon here in round 3 of 4.
And I'm super excited to see what she's going to do with these heavier barbells. She's been working her little butt off trying to get stronger, and I can see that she's actually put on a little bit of mass there. So I'm excited to see what she throws up over her head tonight.
And again, you know, Mal might not have the top end strength that she's going to win events with, but she definitely has kind of that strength endurance. Like if you have a moderately heavy barbell, Mal does well, and she's only gotten stronger.
The girl can hang, and I will tell you, she's from Iowa, which is a neighbor to Nebraska, and we here in the Midwest, we just work until we get the job done, okay?
It's the great state of Iowa. I'm sure you had that in.
Okay, go Big Red.
Go Hawkeyes.
Mal making easy work of that 125-pound barbell.
So smooth.
She's got 9 snatches to get through here.
Now 216 is the number she needs to hit, and then it's into the final round. And look, I don't want to take anything away from your coaches, because they are extremely
Oh,
fit.
absolutely.
But you just see how good you have to be to get to this level.
Yes, yeah.
They're not even at the 6-minute time cap, and they're about to finish the 3rd iteration of this workout.
The final weight for the women is 155. Only 6 snatches there. And now the time gap has gone to 12 minutes. And for Mal O'Brien, and Danielle Brandon has 5 reps to go before she's done.
It's plenty of time. I think there's something to be said about the second set of 20 strict handstand push-ups. So I think she's doing just fine. I think she's right where she needs to be.
She has plenty of time. Like
absolutely.
Yeah. But Mal is just constantly chipping away. She takes a quick break on her hands and even off of her hands. You see her take a breath when she's upside down.
You can see her pull those shoulder blades down, just kind of like, woo, relax a little bit.
She only has 5 remaining. 236 is the mark she's got to hit to move back to the jump rope, and then it's those 6 final snatches at 155 as Mal O'Brien is just tearing her way through this test. And Danielle Brandon is now back to the handstand push-ups for the final time.
Notice both of those athletes pushing their head back towards that plexiglass, and as they press through, bringing that head forward just like you would with a dumbbell strict press, shoulder press, or a barbell shoulder press. It's definitely great technique there.
.286 is where Mal O'Brien is trying to get to on these double unders. Shouldn't be a problem, and then it's back to the barbell for 6 final snatches.
At 155 pounds for these ladies.
Danielle Brandon, meanwhile, is 7 reps shy of closing out her final set of handstand push-ups as Mal O'Brien gets her hands on the barbell for the first time, and rep number 1 is good.
That is so impressive, Stacy. She'd step back, step right back to the bar at 155 pounds. I think that bar weighs about 20 pounds more than she does.
Take my jaw up off the table, folks. I'm just sitting here just so impressed with these ladies.
We were talking earlier about being this good this young, and I can't fathom that. I mean, you were an incredible athlete.
No.
But at 19,
Well, and what's impressive is not just how good she is, but her drive and her discipline to get even better. So it's a mixture of like talent and athleticism and determination.
Mal O'Brien is done, and it was right around the 8-minute mark. We'll have to wait for her official time. And Danielle Brandon skipped the double under, so those reps are not going to count at 155.
Hey, but she knows she can get underneath 155 at a power snatch, so she should have some confidence rolling into the barbell after those double unders.
What an effort from Mal O'Brien. I mean, that is, again, we're waiting on the official time. That's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah.
I think that gymnastics background also helps. We all know how challenging and how difficult mentally and physically the sport of gymnastics is. That definitely carries into the sport of CrossFit. I mean, you have to have a little bit of both. Get a little gritty and, you know, get after some things a few times and take on challenges.
Danielle Brandon, now let's give her due. She still has more than 3 minutes to complete these 6 snatches.
And we know she's going to have no trouble snatching this bar, like you just said, Stacy. Yeah. She got one out of the way, even if it was accidental.
I know, yeah. She just needs to finish this work now, take her time, set herself up.
5 snatches to go, almost 3 minutes still on the clock.
Looking great.
Danielle Brandon coming off a career best 4th place finish at the CrossFit Games last year, as we talked all day long here at podium aspirations in 2023.
Nice. That one looked even better than the first two.
She's definitely getting better as she continues through these, yes. And the crowd behind her, so no doubt they'll root with her until the final rep is complete.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Now 2 reps remaining for Danielle Brandon.
Could you snatch 155 6 times, Sean? Not
no.
Stacy.
No.
I know Stacy can.
No, I could not. Not in my current physical shape. Yes, no.
I hope I get to that point in this workout.
Yeah.
I will not need to worry about it. And Danielle Brandon is now done, and that will close out 23.3. But Mal O'Brien just blitzing through the entirety of that test, all 292 reps, right around 8 minutes.
And you know what's so impressive? Her face never even changes. You know, the expression on her face never changes. Her movement is clean and solid all the way through.
She's in the zone, man. She just looks relaxed.
Yeah.
That jaw is so relaxed. Those cheeks are in the moment. She's doing her thing out there.
The only thing more dangerous than God-given talent and a just absolute maniacal drive is to have a coach that was a champion, a multi-year champion, right?
Not a bad thing to have in your corner.
Well, we have the unofficial results. Mal O'Brien at 7:58. Danielle Brandon comes in at 10:20. Mal O'Brien trying to win the World Wide Open once again, and
it's hard
that
to
is
imagine
certainly going to put her much closer to achieving that. But let's take a look back at it. And early on, I mean, it was neck and neck, but things really started to separate once we got to the strict handstand push-ups.
Right, Danielle was so fast on those wall walks, and like you said, Stacy, I think Mal had 1 or 2 no reps on the wall walks. They were pretty much head-to-head on the double unders. But it was when they finished this bar, you could see Danielle decided to break it up just a little bit. Mal was able to go basically muscle snatch that bar all the way through. And this is right where Mal kind of started to separate herself on the second round of wall walks. She had a no rep there, but you know, she's so cool and calm under pressure. It didn't even phase her. She just goes right back, does another one. 95 pounds. She does some touch and go. She does some singles. I like that she kind of just did whatever felt right in the moment. And then it was these handstand push-ups where Mal really just set herself apart between her and Danielle. She had big sets on those handstand push-ups. No trouble, no trips on any of her double unders.
Not at all.
And then absolutely manhandled the barbell.
Super impressive by both.
Yeah. so smooth. And then this 155 pounds, which again, I think is about 20 pounds over body weight. Never missed a beat, never missed a snatch. And this was the final one to pretty much seal that sub 8-minute time.
She takes one step back. She puts her hand on one ring, puts the other on the other ring, gets her hook grip set, and boom, away she goes.
And just looks like she went for a strenuous walk.
Effortless.
7:58 for Mal O'Brien, that's unofficial, and then 10:20 for Danielle Brandon. Down to the competition floor, Kayla Banfield is with Brandon and O'Brien.
Thank you, Sean. Now, Mal, that looked from the outside like a very shoulder-heavy workout. How did you manage your shoulder fatigue to make it through to the end in such a fantastic time?
I think using the double unders is kind of like a reset and a rest, having your shoulders in a different position. I mean, these are movements we're all very familiar with in CrossFit and ones we train all the time. So, I mean, just staying steady and like you know how your body feels, so just go with how you feel.
Love it. And Danielle, any tips for anyone at home looking to take on 23.3?
I mean, the biggest thing, I really wanted to approach the 95 bar, like it was a 65-pound bar, but singles was the way to go, and it was perfectly fine. Yeah.
Well, girls, I'll let you go and enjoy some well-deserved recovery. And speaking of recovery, the Cool Down Show is up next, presented by Air Rosti, where Sean Woodland will be joined by Katie Hayes and Mallory O'Brien to break down her performance of 23.3. That's up next. Don't go anywhere.
CrossFitters are the fittest athletes in the world, and we deserve a world-class stage.
My name is Justin Medeiros, and I have the best CrossFit gym floor.
CrossFit Surfaces provides great foundation by providing a solid feel while offering a little give and a lot of traction. Burpees and handstands have never felt so good. CrossFit Surfaces now available at surfacedirect.com. Engineered for champions, built for you.
Rosti was super great to me for years when I was an athlete, and even beyond that time. I can pick up the phone, give them a call, they can consult with me, and anytime I'm at a spot or a location, event, whatever it may be, and they're there, they work on me and they just make me feel so great. I would recommend a Rosti. They get to the root of your cause right away. They understand the sport itself, so it's really nice to just kind of have somebody to talk to about your problem with, and they certainly help you feel recovered in a matter of minutes.
The 2023 NOBULL CrossFit Open is presented by RP Strength, the official nutrition coaching platform of the CrossFit Games. Rogue, the official equipment supplier of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. Wild Health, the official precision medicine partner of the NOBULL CrossFit Games. And O2 Hydration, the official sports drink of the NOBULL CrossFit Games.
Hello and welcome to the Cool Down Show presented by Air Rosti. The same effective and efficient Air Rosti treatment that athletes experience at the Games is available nationwide through Air Rosti Remote Recovery. Scan the QR code to schedule or visit airrosti.com/CrossFit-recovery to learn more. I'm now joined by Dr. Jason Garrett from Air Rosti. And Jason, how would these athletes be feeling now post 23.3?
Well, these athletes and most in the world are going to have their shoulders fried for the first 6 minutes. And then if you're really efficient at those movements, you get to torch your triceps. So they're going to be wrecked from there on down.
Sounds like it's a good time for the upper body. Anyone at home wanting to try 23.3, what are your recovery tips for them?
So obviously drink a lot of water, eat really well, but probably the most important thing to recover well for this workout is to warm up really long, because the shorter the workout, the more intensity, the longer the warm up you need, because you want to hit that thing, go really fast, and don't burn out.
Great, thanks for your time, Jason.
Thank you.
Now we're going to send it over to Sean Woodland, who's standing by with seminar staff Katie Hayes.
Thank you, Kayla. And Katie is a CrossFit Level 4 coach. He's a member of the seminar staff and a coach at CrossFit Beaver Menace. So let's talk big picture here and after watching this go down. As a coach, you're going to put your athletes through this. What are the big picture things that you're going to keep in mind to set this up as well as you possibly can?
Yeah, I mean, Boz mentioned this before. This is a technical workout. It's the most technical workout we've seen in this year's Open for certain. So setting people up from a coaching standpoint is going to be all about that technique and efficiency of these movements and talking about points of performance and making sure that we're moving through those things well so that we can last a little bit longer in this thing.
Let's go through each movement here, and we'll start with those wall walks. And if you're just, average everyday athlete looking to get the best score possible, you're always, looking for little tidbits here and there that can, maybe get another rep, make things a little bit easier for you. What are some things that people need to keep in mind to make sure they do as well as they possibly can on those wall walks?
Yeah, I think the wall walks, no matter how you slice this, we're going to burn up the shoulders quite a bit. But as we watch these movements, we're looking for that active shoulder position. That's a huge point of performance in terms of coaching. So stacking that shoulder in the right position, taking smaller steps with the hands, and then that body position too, making sure that that midline stays intact to help us out later for those heavier snatches. So body position, active shoulder position, and taking our time so that we can keep those things, adhere to those points as we're walking through that.
And then we get to the double unders. I know a lot of people chuck their ropes during double unders. I've been guilty of that, but you may not have 50, maybe you have 10. What is the best way for people who might not be super proficient at that to work their way through it?
Yeah, double unders it's like a love-hate relationship. And I think people need to have an honest conversation with themselves about what's the best strategy to do this. Maybe if we're not super proficient, it's more like single, single, double, and just chipping away at those that way so that we don't have the temper tantrum with the ropes. But again, I don't know if we're gonna use Mal's words of this is resting for our shoulders, but I think if we can put our body in the right position where, the hands are slightly in front of the middle of the body, the elbows are staying in tight, and we can try our best to stay relaxed and breathe through these double unders, that should help us out in the long run.
And finally, we get to that barbell, and it gets progressively heavier. And there are a lot of pitfalls that you can face on that movement. How do you navigate those before you even get your hands on the barbell?
Yeah, I think that if we're keeping this a power snatch as long as we can, if we're going right to a squat snatch, it's a lot more time under tension for those shoulders. So we want to cycle through that as a power, and that barbell cycling piece is huge so that we can continue to move through that well, keep the bar path in a good position, and again, help that midline stay intact moving forward if we get to those handstand push-ups. So I think that leading into that is talking about a longer warm-up for this workout, just really drilling down on barbell drills, barbell cycling, making sure that we are moving in the correct line of action, and coaches are looking for those things that are going to help. They might be small little tidbits, but they're going to help in the long run with a ton of volume here.
Finally, we get to the handstand push-ups. Not a lot of us will get there, but some of us will. How do you get through that as well as you possibly can? Because as we heard, Mal talk about, shoulder fatigue is going to be big at that point.
Yeah, I think we have to be smart here, and if we do get to the handstand push-ups, even if that's in our wheelhouse, let's take small sets here. So again, we're talking about the active shoulder and making sure that we hit that line, that body position where the shoulder is open, the hips are open at the top, but I think smaller sets so that we can keep the integrity of the movement throughout every single repetition. We don't see that major arcing of the middle of the body, because again, when we're talking about efficiency over the long run, that's gonna not set us up for success, as well as keeping that body position, maybe even if it's just one at a time.
And then finally, if you do get to the barbell, now it's a rather formidable challenge at the weights for both the men and the women. How do you manage that?
I think the approach is taking your time and assessing that setup position, making sure your feet are in the right place, approaching that barbell with a plan, and then hip extension is the name of the game here. Throwing your hip into that bar to make sure that we can put some momentum on that thing. Now we might start to see a little bit of a lower receiving position where we get into that squat so that we can manage that heavier weight. But again, it's going to be all about the setup here. Coaches are looking for a proper setup, and then that hip extension is going to be huge on that heavier weight.
Finally, your parting message to everybody out there who is sweating bullets about doing this thing.
Yeah, this is a technical one, and I think as athletes and as coaches, let's remember why we're doing this. The Open is all about getting outside of your comfort zone, really pushing a little bit further than maybe you think you can. But ultimately, we want to come back to the gym next week and continue to train because that's what we're here for. So moving well, working on technique, and having that really be the platform for moving into our training to continue so that next year in the Open or the next competition we take on, we're able to move the needle a little bit further.
Katie, thanks so much for everything you're doing in the community. Thanks to all the coaches out there. We appreciate everything you are doing for your local communities. And if you want to be a coach like Katie, it is not hard. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now, and you can set people up for a lifetime of fitness by becoming a CrossFit coach. Scan the QR code. You can learn more about CrossFit certificate courses. Joined now by the woman who just demolished that test, Mal O'Brien. This is your first time in a live Open announcement. I know obviously you've competed on big stages before, but what was this experience like?
I was really excited to see because I honestly had no expectations going into it, but it honestly just felt like another training session in the gym, just with a way cooler crowd. So.
When you heard the test get announced, what's going through your head at that time?
I was hoping it would be wall walks or handstand push-ups because we haven't seen them yet, but I really liked it. It was super straightforward and just kind of chipped through it.
There's the perception of how you think it's going to go. Then 3, 2, 1 happens. As we got into the test here, and we'll take a look at your performance. How were you adjusting your strategy, if at all, in the initial parts of 23.3?
I think the biggest thing for me was kind of looking at the 65 and 95 pounds and being like, okay, those are weights we use often and cycle a lot in our CrossFit workouts. But I think just being able to respect those weights from the get-go and not go out too hot with them or burn yourself out before we even get to the second half of the workout.
You got, I think, an early no rep there. Was it, what happened? I didn't get to see.
I think my hands moved before my feet touched the wall.
That's a common problem. And then the double unders, minor inconvenience for you there. When you get to the barbell now at the first one, how'd the approach change, if at all, for what you wanted to do here? Lightweight for you.
Yeah, so the 65 I did unbroken. I knew I could do that from the get-go. It wouldn't tax me super much. And then the 95 I also just kind of attacked and broke up that weight just because I feel like it's 12 reps. You're not going to gain a bunch from going unbroken. So.
Handstand push-up standard, different than what we've seen. You just have to have your hands on that red line. How did that affect you, if at all, going into the movement?
It definitely felt a little different. It was very narrow. I wasn't really expecting that, but I mean, same strategy, just kind of chip away. There's no need to go unbroken in the handstand push-up, especially as the barbell's getting lighter. So.
Now moving on to that heavier barbell, 135 to 155 to close this thing out. How are you managing your shoulder fatigue at this point?
For me, I like to squat snatch, so I know that would be a big advantage if I could not really rely on my shoulders for that workout and just go right down into the squat.
Well, that's actually interesting because I think a lot of athletes might be wondering, if I am lucky enough to get here, should I risk powering it or should I squat snatch that thing? What would your advice be?
I think it honestly just depends on what you do in training, what you're more comfortable with. I know for me, that weight is kind of between the power and squat for me. So I just kind of wanted to go right into squat just because I knew. But I mean, if you're doing this at home, I think it's really just up to you and what that weight means to you.
What part of this test might sneak up on people a little bit?
I would say don't underestimate the wall walks for sure. They're right at the beginning and it's 5, so you're kind of oh, we've done workouts with more than 5 multiple times, but I mean, don't underestimate them. They'll definitely burn out your shoulders. So.
I know you're super focused on your routine and what goes on outside doesn't affect you, but I'm sure you've heard the talk about, she's going to win this year and she's the heir apparent. How, if at all, does that affect you?
It doesn't affect me at all. I have my one goal and my circle supporting me and everything. So there's a lot of outside noise, of course, but I'm focused on my goal and that won't stop me. So.
Impressive performance tonight, Mal. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks so much for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it, and best of luck the rest of the way. And as I've mentioned, this is just the beginning of the end of the Open. The whole season is still ahead of us. We got the quarterfinals coming up, then the semifinals. Tickets are on sale now for the North American semifinals in Pasadena and in Orlando. So scan the QR code now to get those tickets. You're going to want to be there in person. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us today for 23.3. This journey started a couple of weeks ago in Madrid. Then we were in New Jersey. The fans have been fantastic. The athletes have been amazing, and the atmospheres have been incredible. Best of luck with 23.3. For Kayla Banfield and Annie Sakamoto and our entire hard-working crew for these past 3 weeks, I'm Sean Woodland. Have fun with this one, everybody.